kingpin. 23-year-old Arvin Jabot Jr. is charged with a felony conspiracy charge for allegedly running a crack cocaine operation. Cops say Jabot is a major player in the North Country drug trade.
Still to come, the money flies at a royal auction.
But first, stocks finished the week with a modest gain.
News 10 is brought to you by West Point Stevens National Clearance Center. Question, answer, getting right to the point. Newsmakers in the know on the hot seat.
With us tonight, New York State Assemblyman Paul Tonko of Amsterdam, chairman of the Assembly Energy Committee. Mr. Tonko, next week the Public Service Commission will vote on a new rate plan for Niagara Mohawk, a plan that will cut electricity rates for big businesses and big residential customers, but you're not happy with it. Why?
Well, basically, any plan that will increase rates, John, for 40% and more of residential customers and 50% of small business customers is grossly unacceptable. This order of business should be about reducing rates substantially for everyone, not just for a few. And I think that the energy price crisis that looms in this state proves the point that we start out far and above, in excess of the national average for electricity costs. And we need to respond to that energy price crisis that we have as New Yorkers.
Those residences that would get a break under this plan will only go down by about 3.2%.
That's right. And when you look at what they're prescribing in law, guaranteeing in law in many of the states, 22 states in this country are doing an energy reform policy package to drive down rates. New York State is the only one that is doing it through the regulator and not putting it into law.
Would you be satisfied if everyone got a drop of maybe about 3%?
No, I wouldn't be. I think what we need here is a substantial write-down by the utilities. The companies in this state have to bring to the table a reasonable package to respond to our energy price crisis. We need a plan like Competition Plus, which I have promoted in the State Assembly, which would reduce rates by 25%. If they can do it next door in Massachusetts, if they can do it next door in Pennsylvania, if they can do it in key industrial states like California, they need to do it in New York. A 2% reduction for some, with 40% and more of residential customers paying more for their energy bill, is unacceptable.
All right, I do want to know more about Competition Plus, but what about the state's role? Aren't our taxes on energy use higher than other states as well?
Certainly, governments should be part of the solution also. I have advocated for a repeal of the energy tax, the gross receipts tax. We also need to look at other opportunities that we can do, provide at the table to reduce the tax burden. But beyond that, we need to look at the policy that we set for stranded costs, those embedded costs that won't be recaptured in a competitive market. We need to guarantee true competition, not just competition in name only.
A big part of those costs, Mr. Tonko, though, are those so-called IPPs, independent power producers.
IPP contracts have been...
That the state legislature imposed on Niagara Mohawk.
No, they imposed a minimum price, which has been repealed by legislation that I sponsored. But there are also contracts that were agreed upon by the company and by the regulator, the PSC, that provided 7-cent and 8-cent and 9-cent power that was displaced. So they didn't even stick to their own 6-cent minimum price. They went beyond that. So those contracts have been renegotiated. They've come up with a better settlement, and that's how the pressure points should be applied.
Okay,
putting pressure on the partners to produce a lower energy cost for New Yorkers, every ratepayer, and significant.
We're just about out of time. The PSC meets on Tuesday. We'll get back to you after Tuesday, after we see what they do, and get your reaction then. Paul Tonko.
It would be my pleasure.
Thank you. Coming up next, a tribute to a fallen comedian.
And next, a party with a unique theme.
Now, from near and far, from us to you, the people, places, and things in the news.
An actor who started out in the music world tops our people in the news tonight. Will Smith's new single climbed to the #1 spot on Billboard's rap singles list. Since Gettin Jiggy Wit It is selling so well, no need for Smith to be wearing black over his record career. Tomorrow night, Saturday Night Live will be a tribute to the late comedian Chris Farley. The show will feature several of his skits, including the Chippendale sketch with Patrick Swayze. Farley was a regular on the show for 5 years. He died in December of a drug overdose.
Hollywood is the place to go to visit a marvelous new restaurant. It's the Marvel Mania restaurant, where a stuntman hurtled across the LA skyline 30 stories above the ground, suspended by a lone and thin wire. Marvel Comics founder The Hulk and Jennifer Love Hewitt were among the celebrities who came to see the special effects and interactive technology that creates the illusion of life inside the pages of a comic book. Tel Aviv, Israel was the place for a bizarre end-of-the-world party. The goal to forget the possibility of war between the U.S. and Iraq. Party-goers boogied the night away, dressed as Saddam Hussein and other world leaders, dancing under a fake Scud missile. It seems the Olympics are not only having problems holding on to viewers in the U.S., the games have some tough competition just 20 minutes away by bullet train. Snow monkeys are drawing huge crowds of Olympic sightseers to their steamy home at the Nagano Zoo.
Well, some things that used to belong to the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, they're on the auction block in New York City. The auction has already pulled in nearly $2 million. He, of course, the King of England, who abdicated his throne to marry a divorced American woman, Wallis Simpson. Those who were not bothered by his Nazi sympathies paid $40,000 for a sword, 100 grand for a desk. And a lot of money, a couple of grand for a piece of cake.
From the wedding cake?
Yeah, it was like 60 years old or something, you know?
It's all the money's going to charity, though.
I'd rather have the snow monkeys. Many New Yorkers, they're asking themselves, what am I going to do when they win Lotto tomorrow night?
You didn't read that line.
Huh?
The line actually says, how lucky will I be this weekend? Mr. M.O.S. does want to know.
After this.
New York's Lotto jackpot for tomorrow is up to $40 million.
And the streets are rich with people who think that they're going to win. Here's tonight's Mr. M.O.S.
If I win that $40 million, we're going to go to Vegas.
When I win, I'll invest some. I'll give some to charity.
I'm retired. I took that early retirement in the state, and I'm just mellowed out.
If I win it, I'm going to stop climbing to the top of that scaffold right there, because that's where I'm working.
So you're a mellow person, and you become probably even more mellow if you get the 40 mil.
Oh, boy, I will. I'm going to go to Vegas, and I'm going to go to the islands.
You don't plan to play Lotto?
No. What's my odds of winning?
13 mil to 1.
Nah, I really hold my own money. I got what I got, I'll keep it.
Maybe I'll be lucky. I used to be lucky.
Realistically, you ain't got no chance at all winning the Lotto, right?
That's true.
So how come you play it?
Well, it's for education. If I'm going to gamble on something, I might as well gamble on something that's going to do some good for the kids.
What a noble idea.
Right.
I used to win a lot of things when I was young. When I was in first grade, I won a ride in a Jeep. This is going back years ago.
You want to ride in a Jeep?
To school, to kindergarten, for a whole week.
Do you want to let your boss know right now that you won't be in?
Hey, Dave, we won't be in if we win the lottery.
It's all over.
It's all over, buddy.
What should be the bigger thrill, the ride in the Jeep or the 40 mil?
That was a big thrill back then.
The ride in the Jeep.
Yeah, when I was I really felt important. I really did. That was a lot of fun.
Maybe you can buy a Jeep now.
Yeah, I could buy a Jeep. Yeah, that's right. Never thought of that.
And mellow out.
And mellow out. That's right.
You're so helpful to them.
Yes.
I just want to know why you couldn't go back to the guy that was going up to the scaffolding again 2, 3, 4 times.
I don't know, but it just occurred to him he could buy a Jeep, you know?
How many tickets did you buy?
I haven't bought any yet, but I'm going to. That's it for tonight, folks, and for the week. Thanks for being with us. And remember to make a comment, call 1-800-888-WTEN.
To report a news story, call our tips line 462-WTEN. Now Elisa Streeter and News 10 at 5:30.